Kiani, you need to be in your seat, please.
All right, so some of you guys know me. I am Carrie, and I'm Olivia's mom. And this is my classmate, Heather. And we are student nurses here at a school here in Olympia. And today we are going to teach you about why it is important to wear helmets, not just when you're riding your bike, but when you're skiing, when you're riding your scooter, when you're horseback riding. There's all kinds of activities that require that you wear a helmet, and we're here to tell you why you should wear your helmet. Because Olivia and I and her dad Gordon, who is our cameraman today, live right around the corner, and I see kids and parents every day riding their bikes or riding their scooters or riding their little motorized mopeds without helmets. And I just think, as a nurse, that's so irresponsible because what do you guys think could happen if you had an accident and you didn't have your helmet on? Yes.
You could get a concussion.
Very good.
Brain injury.
Very good. Here. Okay, Olivia.
Your whole body can get paralyzed.
Very good. All right, so we're going to talk to you guys about if you do different kinds of activities, there's different types of helmets that you should wear. And we want to make sure you know why you should protect your brain. And then at the end, we're going to tell you how to make sure your helmets fit properly, okay? All right.
Okay. You guys know this. What's inside of your skull, inside of your head?
Your
Your brain. What does your brain do for you?
Move. Helps you think.
Helps you think.
Move.
You move.
Is the brain the control center?
The control center for your body. That's true.
Very good.
It helps you breathe.
Helps you breathe.
It helps you think at math and stuff.
Yeah, it helps you do your math.
Heartbeat.
It regulates your heartbeat. What is
Stores things.
Your memory. It stores your memories. Oh, great. You guys are so
Very
smart.
good.
Very
All right.
impressive. There's like 100 things your brain does, at least. So, do you feel like you need to have your brain?
Yes.
Yeah, you sure do. But what do you know about brains? They are fragile and can break. So, what are you going to do to protect your brain?
Wear a
Wear a helmet. Awesome. You guys are so smart.
So when we're doing all these fun things that we like to do that require helmets, it's very important that you wear your helmet because there's a reason why you should be wearing a helmet. Because if you fall or you get knocked down or you bump into something, you think your skull is hard, and it's pretty hard. It's a pretty good protector for your brain, but it can break. So we want to make sure that you wear your helmet so you have that extra cushion. If you do bump your head, your brain is going to be safe. How many of you guys ride bikes? All of you ride bikes? So what should you do?
Wear your helmet.
Wear your helmet. That's right. So if you think about when you're riding your bike, you're going down the road, and which way? Where do you think you're going to hit your head if you fall over on your bike? Right there on the side, right here, and this is like if you feel your head right here. This is the softest part of your skull, right here, and this is the easiest part that can break. So if you bump that part and you break your skull and you damage that brain right underneath, that part of your brain right there is called your temporal lobe. And your temporal lobe is responsible for all these actions that your body does. Your hearing, your seeing, your memory, and your personality. What is your personality? What's important about your personality? Does anybody know what your personality is? Yes.
Family.
Your personality is kind of what makes you who you are. So everybody in this room is different. You all have different personalities, and that's unique to you. So we want to make sure you keep that. That's important.
Now, who here rollerblades or roller skates? Okay, when you rollerblade and roller skate, what are you going to wear to protect your brain? You're going to wear a helmet. You guys are so smart. Now we're going to talk about if you do end up hitting the front of your head, like when you're roller skating or rollerblading or biking, what's going to happen? What part? This is called the frontal lobe. This part of your brain, and it's responsible for emotions. You guys know what those are, right? So, what name an emotion? One that you like.
Excited.
Excited. Yeah, it affects your ability to feel those kind of emotions. Your personality, again, can be damaged here. Your thinking, your speaking, and your memory. So you can remember people's names and things like that. So that's your frontal lobe.
Did you have a question?
What happens if you face plant?
If you face plant, you're going to hurt your face. And you know what? We're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Who here rides a scooter or a skateboard?
You guys are so active in this class. I love it.
How are you going to protect your brain?
Oh, you're all catching on. You're so smart. I'm going to stand over here. So if you, we're talking about all the different parts of the brain. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And because the different parts of your brain control different parts of your body and what you do. So the parietal lobe is this part on top of your head, right here. And that is really important for touch. So when you reach out and pick up something, it controls, can I feel that? So I know if it's hot or it's cold or it's sharp or it's, you know, is it going to poke me or hurt me? So the parietal lobe is really important for that touch, which is called sensation. Okay? So, anybody horseback ride?
I used to.
All right.
I used to.
Very good. So if you fall off a horse, what's probably the first thing you're going to injure?
Head.
Your head. So it's important to wear a helmet. And you notice in these pictures, a lot of these helmets look different from one activity to another. So it's important that if you do several different activities, you make sure you have the right helmet for the right activity. That may mean you have 4 different helmets in your garage, but it's well worth it because it's so important to protect your brain.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the occipital lobe, and that's the part of your brain that's at the very back. Now, luckily, that part of your brain is pretty protected because your skull's really thick back there. But if it does get injured, what's it going to hurt? Did you guys tell by the picture? All right.
Vision.
Your vision. It can help. It can affect your vision. And who here would like to keep their vision so that they can see? I know I would. It would not be so fun if you couldn't see, would it? So you got to protect that part of your brain. Here's a fun one. Who here has ever rock climbed or ever wanted to rock climb?
I do at the YMCA.
You do it at the YMCA. Awesome.
They have ropes.
How can you protect your brain if you're rock climbing? What was that?
Wear a helmet.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah.
Now, do you guys participate in snow sports? You snow ski, snowboard, snowmobile? You guys notice this is Olivia's new ski helmet. And you see how big and thick it is and how padded it is? Because when you are snow skiing or snowboarding, you can fall any which direction, can't you? You could run into a tree, you could fall backwards, you could fall sideways, you could fall on the front of your face. So it's very, very thick, and I'll pass this around. You guys can, this is a very thick and padded helmet just to protect all areas of your head. So it's very important. So how are we going to protect our brain if we do snow sports? All right. Are you guys getting tired of hearing about this?
No.
Thank you. This is so important. Does anybody ride motorcycles or quads or?
I flew on the back of my dad's motorcycle once.
Right.
Yeah. And do you guys wear helmets when you're on your quads and your motorcycles?
Yeah.
And you guys, you know what? You need to go home and make sure that your parents have properly fitting helmets too for all these activities. Because I want to see kids and adults alike wearing their helmets.
Did you want to say something?
I flipped over on a quad before hitting a tree.
Wow.
Onto the side though. I didn't.
See, it's so important that you wear a helmet with those so that you don't hurt your brain.
Tina? Driving in a car?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we don't. Yeah, you have a seatbelt to protect you. And I know that some people do they hit a tree and they might come out of their car, but that's probably because they're not wearing their seatbelt. So, yes. I know, but were you wearing a helmet? So you protected your brain, right?
Yeah.
So now they fixed your leg and you can still walk.
It's a lot easier to fix a leg than to fix your brain.
That's right.
Okay.
And I face planted on concrete.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I ran.
When you were running.
Oh, yeah.
So can you guys answer this question? Who should wear helmets?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yes.
No matter how old you
But
are.
should your mom and dad wear helmets?
Yes.
That's right.
So good.
Dogs should not wear helmets.
So we talked about how these activities are fun, but they all have a risk of falling or running into something or bumping your head. And you know what? Your brain is just like any other part of your body. You know, if you bump your arm really hard, what happens?
It'll swell up.
It can swell. And what else happens? What do you get? A bruise. That's right. So your brain can bruise also, and just what bruising means is bleeding inside, not bleeding that you can see outside, but what you can see inside. If you bruise your brain, you can have some temporary loss of these things that we've talked about, or it can be permanent, where you may never be able to walk again. But and then your skull, you can crack your skull, that can puncture into your brain, and then you have a brain bleed, and that's really bad. So all we have to do, simple thing, put on our helmet, and we reduce that risk so much that we can be safe. Yes?
My brother, he was playing football. A guy named Ben, he's 12. He tackled him and broke his growth plates on his wrist.
Goodness.
So his arm won't grow anymore.
I forgot to mention something when we were back there talking about bicycle riding. Do any of you guys mountain bike?
No.
No?
I have to mountain bike, but I don't have to bike mountains. No.
When you mountain bike and you're going downhill, are you moving pretty fast?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you mountain bike, you really should wear a helmet that has a face shield to protect not only your head, but your face, your jaw, your nose, all that stuff. Olivia's dad back there, he's a big mountain biker, and last year before last, he was mountain biking and he was not wearing a helmet with a face shield, and he suffered a pretty significant injury. He got a concussion. He whacked his face right here on a log, and he was hurt pretty bad. So it's really important that you make sure you have the proper helmet for the proper activity. So if you bruise your brain or you break your skull and your brain bleeds, these are the kinds of things that could happen. You could lose your memory. You may be not able to walk or talk. You may be paralyzed. Do you guys know what a coma is?
Yeah.
What's a coma? Landry? That's right. Sometimes people are in comas for short time, sometimes for a really long time. And then what else could happen if you have a significant, you could die. And I know that sounds really like, oh my gosh, radical, we shouldn't think about that, but you really should think about that. Because it's important.
Before we do this part, we're going to try on a helmet.
Yeah, Olivia, will you come up here? I want to show you guys how to make sure to know that your helmet fits properly. So, this is my helmet. So this is my helmet right here. What do you think's going to happen if I fall off my bike with my helmet like this? Is that going to do much good? Why am I even wearing it? That's not very safe, is it? So this is Olivia's helmet. You see how loose my strap is? It's way down here. My helmet could even fall off if I'm riding my bike. You know? That's not really going to protect my brain. But you see how this isn't choking her, but it's pretty, you can only get like 2 fingers in there. And her helmet, it doesn't wiggle around at all. So it's nice and snug, so if she was to fall off her bike, she's not going to lose her helmet, and her head is going to be protected really well. So I want you to make sure when you go home, I want you guys to check to make sure your helmet fits properly. That the strap is nice and snug and you can't slide it around on your head. It shouldn't be able to move in any direction. And if you guys don't have these helmets that have the adjustable, this is the best kind of helmet because then you can adjust it really well and you can snug it down, but it's still comfortable. It's not uncomfortable. It's a good fit. Okay? So, go ahead.
Okay. It's just important when you see other people not wearing their helmets to explain to them that it's very serious, especially your family and your friends. And it's a good example when you wear your helmet, other people are going to see you and they're going to say, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be wearing a helmet too. And we talked about fitting properly. And, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Is that it? Okay. All right, we've got some stickers for you guys. We can pass those around and you can take a sticker.
And you know what? I want you guys to wear your stickers today. And when your friends see you at recess and they ask you why do you have the sticker, what does this mean? You can just tell them real briefly what you learned today, that helmets are easy to have, easy to wear, and they are so important because they can protect you from really serious injuries.
We also have a flyer that you need to take home and talk to your parents about it, okay? And tell them what you learned today, and they can read this. It has some good information on wearing helmets and being safe.
Helmets rock.
All right.
That's good. Good thing you weren't. Wish you did it before you got it instead, huh?
Yes.
Last time I was playing tackle football, on our practice, my teammate got me a concussion.
Oh my goodness. Were you wearing a helmet? Yeah.
We wear helmets in practice.
That's a good thing. Okay, a couple more questions.
When I moved into my new house, there was a golf bike they left me and my brother for. We ride it around still and we ride it down our head, and it's pretty steep, and once I flipped over, but I was wearing a dirt bike helmet.
All right.
And the dirt bike flew over me. It didn't even flash on me. It was almost going to.
Oh my goodness.
Here. When I flipped over on the quad, it really landed on my leg, and then I kept saying, I want to do that again.
That's a good idea. Mr. Showman, do you have any questions or anything to add or any?
Well, I was telling the class how when I was younger, a long time ago, we didn't seem to have helmets back in the olden days until they had the research and all the stuff and so when I was growing up, we didn't have that. But that's when I think a lot of things happened. I think that's probably what got the research to show how important the helmet was. I think back when how old I was growing up. So.
Yeah.
It's a little different now. So when my kids now, my kids have to wear helmets too. So.
And you know what? We don't have a law in our state that requires that you wear a helmet. It's just a standard. There's a lot of states that actually have laws that say helmets must be worn when doing certain activities. So hopefully Washington will soon have an actual law stating that everybody will wear a helmet. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We hope that you will take this information and think about it every time you go to do an activity and think, I don't want to wear my helmet today because it's hot or it's uncomfortable or I look dorky, or you know what? You'd rather look dorky than be injured and not be able to walk.
Mostly in my poor neighborhood, don't even wear a helmet.
Okay, well you should tell him. I learned some stuff. You should wear your
There's not
helmet.
that many hills or jumps. It's only like on the road. It's only flat, no like hills. Well, in the new neighborhood, yeah, but it's not very steep. It's only like still down like that.
Yeah.
My mom and dad don't wear helmets.
They should wear helmets.
Better give them that flyer.
Yes.
My parents don't.
Tell them Carrie said.
Now you're telling on your parents.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and we can always answer the question a little bit later, but let's give them a round of applause. Thanks for coming today.